Howdy, it's Jim Murado, and this is early March 2025. We are in Loveland, Ohio, once again at the Frogman Festival. This is the third annual Frogman Festival. Oh, stop by Mile 42 Coffee before the festival. Love this coffee shop, by the way. They have embraced the weirdness that is the Frogman. I bought a really cool t-shirt. They have stickers and they have great coffee. Cool vibe too, but you can tell the locals love this place. It was crowded. There was a line out the door. It moved. They know how to run a business, and that's why this business is popular. Anyway, I wanted to mention them real quick. The entire town has embraced the Frogman legend, and of course, like I said, they have the now annual Frogman Festival. And this was my third trip there. I was pretty excited to see this guy, James Renner, a true crime author out of the Akron and Cleveland, Ohio area. I lived and worked in Cleveland and Akron for about a decade as a social worker. And he's written about true crime. And, well, as a social worker, I kind of had some stuff in common with him. I've read several of his books. That one right there, The Serial Killer's Apprentice, is probably a really interesting one. Probably half the cases in that book have been solved. They were not solved when he wrote about them. Just a fascinating guy too, and that's his latest book, Scout Camp. I recommend every book by him. He is a bit controversial, and he's open about that. And he's been in court a time or two, and he's opinionated, and he will tell you what he thinks. Another book that he's famous for, about a little girl that went missing up near Cleveland. And James used to write for the Scene and the Times magazines up in Cleveland, and I used to read his articles even before he wrote books. But yeah, James Renner, wanted to mention him. There's Ashley and Tobias from this on Wednesdays We Talk Weird, that podcast. I love that podcast. Tobias has written several interesting books, one on the Chicago area Mothman. I've chatted with him many times. I really like him. Here's a quick look at some of the vending area. Lots of great vendors, by the way. James Willis was also here, another author I like a lot. I always try to chat with him. I have most of his books. And by the way, like I said, I was at the first and the second annual Loveland Frogman Festival. Check out my other videos on those. The second one and the third one were very similar. They were both held at this Oasis Conference Center. Great spot for a convention, by the way. I really, really like this place. And they do have speakers throughout the day. I believe Tobias and Ashley were going to do a presentation. James Willis usually does a presentation. We did go here on Sunday. This was the first day that they had it over 2 days. And I think Sunday was the calmer of the days, from what I heard. Here's a few things I purchased, just so you can see. I bought a Cryptid Ranger badge from Danner. He is at a lot of these festivals. Yeah, Conjuring Dust. He makes some really nice items. Independent guy, kind of very DIY, but his stuff is very professional, and he makes some cool stuff. Always pick up some cool stuff from him at festivals. James Renner, he was there. I mentioned him earlier. He wrote a book and that had a little bit of a Frogman in it, and that was a print he was given out, done by his cover artist. Oh, and this is a print I picked up from Star Cruiser Studios. That guy makes some really great kind of retro-looking prints. That's, of course, the Hopkinsville Goblins, Kelly Goblins. Doobie Edwards used that for the cover of his latest book. And I bought one of Jeff Craig's maps. That's of Tennessee. He, of course, does the map in black. Maps that you see around. There's a great Ohio one and a great U.S. one. There is one of the Cryptids of the Corn guys wrote that book. I picked that up. Love that podcast too. And this is an interesting book about basically sea creatures up in the sky. And you need to listen to their podcast or read that book to get a little more information on it. Very interesting. And just I'll end this in Loveland. There is a really cool t-shirt shop. And they've got a lot of Loveland Frogman stuff, so make sure you check that out when you're in Loveland. If you went to the Frogman Festival, let me know what you thought. I really enjoyed it. Loveland is a great little town that's really growing on me.